video, I'm going to be covering a couple of topics that are a difference of opinion between nutritional therapists and PTs. And these two subjects are, should we calorie count and intermittent fasting as a weight loss tool? For those of you that don't know me, hi, my name is Sam Brown and I am a BANT registered nutritionist here in the UK. And if science-backed information on everything nutritional and lifestyle is your kind of thing, then please hit that like and subscribe. It really does help. So, calorie counting, should we do it? Should we not do it? As far as nutritional therapists are concerned, we are generally focusing on health. And so we would always go for make your food nutritious and whole, and the weight loss, etc., those kind of benefits will come with it. However, these PTs have got a point where they say that you should track everything that's coming in and track everything that is going out. And on a weight loss basis, I tend to agree with them. If you have no idea how much food that you're actually putting into the food that you are burning, it doesn't matter how healthy that food is. If it's beyond what you're putting out, you will have weight gain. If it's on a par, you will have a stable weight situation, even if that's a stone or two heavier. So for that specific weight loss, yes, you do need to track. And also your tracking needs to be absolutely spot on. There is a massive difference of say, oh, well, I put 10 Brazil nuts on my yogurt. Now, is that 10 large Brazil nuts or 10 smaller Brazil nuts? So weighing things per 100 grams when you first start on this weight loss journey is really essential. I would then argue that possibly once you get used to what an actual portion size really looks like, and you can gauge things as you go along, that maybe you would only need to check in with your calories in a few times a week to sort of keep you on that par and stop it from increasing gradually, as many of us, including me, we tend to do that. Now, calories out, we always overestimate how active we actually are. And so wearing some kind of fitness tracker or a pedometer, or, it doesn't have to be the most expensive watches out there. There are plenty of alternatives that will do just as good a job to get you moving, especially if you have a sedentary job. There are times for me where I sit behind the computer seeing clients or writing protocols or programs, and before I know it, I've sat on my backside all day. And so if I've taken in then even a normal calorie count for a normal adult woman, I will still be over what I have roughly used throughout the day. And so if I have a week of that where I'm eating constantly, or like a good 3 meals a day, but they're really good portions as though I was extremely active, then I would gain some weight. There's just that's just the way it is. You have to try and balance your in and your out. Now, these trackers are a rough estimate of what you are burning, but it really does give you a great idea of where you need to be aiming for. And we always underestimate the food that we're eating and we overestimate how much we're actually moving. So that is point number one. Point number two, intermittent fasting as a weight loss tool. So when it comes to sheer weight loss, the reason why intermittent fasting works, it reduces the calories. It reduces the calories in. If you shorten your eating window, if you're doing something like a time restricted feeding, which I'm a great fan of, it just reduces the amount of calories that you can actually fit in, unless you are a proper greedy guts and you could just keep eating all day long and never feel full. And there is a little bit of science behind that as well. If you are constantly eating, or you're a person that has got used to constantly eating, your leptin, which is a satiety hormone, is released by the body to tell you that you are full. Now also, your fat cells produce this particular hormone. But just like insulin resistance, if you are constantly releasing leptin, then your body stops listening. And so that you know, there are people out there that can just continually eat and never actually feel satiated. Intermittent fasting helps you become more sensitive, not only to insulin, but also to leptin. So there are benefits to using intermittent fasting as a weight loss tool, but when it physically comes down to losing the pounds, it reduces the calories. But these other benefits that surround intermittent fasting help you get to that point. So also, I quickly mentioned insulin resistance there. There is no better way of improving your insulin resistance really than going a little bit longer without food. But we don't want you going longer without food in between your meals. So we don't want a very small breakfast and then a long time between to lunch and then a small lunch and a long time. Number one, it's really difficult to stick to. You're going to feel lots of hunger. You're going to have lots of dips of, you know, possibly blood sugar dips, energy dips during the day. You're going to have massive amounts of craving. So it's generally harder to stick to. Rather than if you bring your dinner earlier, and this includes milk and sugar in teas and things like that afterwards. You really have to cut out everything. And then pushing your breakfast just a little bit further. Most of it you're asleep, but by doing that, you're shortening your eating window. So you are able then to stick to 3 good meals throughout the day. You eat until you are satiated, until you feel that little bit full, and then you will wait until the next meal. This really helps you when you're in the office and they bring out those cookies, etc. Also, intermittent fasting does have an autophagy benefit. So autophagy is just where the body breaks down cells that aren't working so great. It breaks down mitochondria, makes new ones. Mitochondria are our powerhouses, our energy, and if you don't know much about them, check out this video here just to learn a little bit more. They're really important in our lives, but also the body breaks down other proteins that are really just floating around the body and not doing so much, and you know, a little bit of excess skin as well. Fasting on longer terms or even just being able to do a 16-8 really does help that excess skin. It's no magic pill, but it does help. Also, if you're a person that has gut issues because of, you know, possibly eating lots of carbohydrates and the bacteria in the stomach sometimes gives you issues, intermittent fasting can really help with gut repair. If you think about it, nothing's going in there for that 12 to 16 hours. And it really does give the gut a good amount of time to be able to clear out bacteria where it shouldn't be, and also any partially digested foods that are stuck. From a nutritional therapist point of view, counting calories can push behaviors that are possibly unhealthy. So things like if you have an eating disorder, or if you're going into restaurants and you're constantly looking for just the kcals and specifically picking a low calorie meal that is not going to keep you satiated, doesn't have any healthy fats and good amount of protein in it, and it's just maybe a salad that's full of veggies. Veggies are really, really healthy for us, but it doesn't constitute a meal and it doesn't take you all the way to your next meal. And then of course we're starting to look at nutritional deficiencies, and these things then throw more cravings. You're more likely to fall off the wagon. There are more things that are likely to go wrong with detoxification, for instance, with brain fog, with fatigue. And of course, these push really bad behaviors that we don't want to do. It's really important that you speak to your nutritionist, nutritional therapist, your personal trainer about making sure that your healthy fats, your proteins, and obviously your fiber is included in your diet plan or your health plan. This is something that you're going to follow for the rest of your life to be able to understand how many calories you should be taking in and how many calories you are actually burning, but to do it in a healthy way. These people will be able to give you advice on making sure that you are not suffering from any nutritional deficiencies, and especially if you are female, fats are incredibly important to us, but also they are incredibly important to our brain health as well. So men out there, you also need to be having some healthy fats. I hope that this has kind of cleared up a few differences in opinions on where people come across as though they are extremely polarized. It's never ever that simple. You have to listen to your own body and you have to find your own way. Anyway, guys, give me a thumbs up, a like, any questions down below, and take care.